How's it going, everyone? I think I've saved the worst for last in these Black Ops 2 weapon guides. Today we're going to take a look at what's pretty much the worst weapon in the game to finish off this little series, the S12 Shotgun. The S12 is the only semi-automatic shotgun. We've got the 2 pump actions and then that fully automatic M1216. And this one's unlocked pretty early on at level 4 as soon as you unlock Creator class. But in my opinion, it's not a weapon you should really waste one of your attachment tokens on. Let's get started with this little guide and take a look at some of the S12's general features. Just like the M1216, this is one of the low power shotguns with its damage coming out at 30 to 6. That's a tad bit higher than the M1216 at close range, but it's only 5 points extra. You can still achieve those one-shot kills, but the range of the S12 is the lowest out of all the shotguns, meaning you need to be at arm's reach to even have a chance at securing that one-shot kill. This range profile drastically drops off until it eventually reaches the point where your pellets inflict absolutely zero damage. So to do well with this weapon, you've got to really be able to sneak up behind the enemies and tickle them behind their ear. Aim sights don't matter too much with the shotguns, but you can aim down sights to tighten up that spread for more likelihood of a one-shot kill. So moving on, let's take a look at some more detailed stats for the S12. Its magazine size weighs in at 10 rounds, that's not too bad, but it's amongst the lower end of the figures for the shotguns. The only problem is with this weapon needing so many shots to kill, a 10 round magazine suddenly becomes not quite enough, especially if you need to tackle multiple bad guys. You can extend that magazine up to 14 rounds with help with the extended clip attachment. But as we'll discuss later, I think you'd be probably better off running the fast mags attachment and just focusing on tackling one enemy at a time. Best feature by far for the S12 is its fire rate. It comes out on top at 468 rounds per minute, although it all depends if you can press that trigger fast enough with this weapon being semi-automatic. But at least it's not pump action like the Remington 870 or the KSG, and you're not limited by that strange fire mode configuration of the M1216. This weapon's a magazine-fed shotgun, not like the KSG and the Remington where you have to top them up one shell at a time. The advantage here is that you replenish your full magazine in one, but you do have a slightly longer reload time at 3 seconds as opposed to just being able to top up 1 or 2 shells at a time. So I think the title for the worst weapon in Black Ops 2 is tied between the S12 and the M1216. It's kind of difficult deciding which one's the absolute worst out of the two. On one hand, the S12 has slightly worse range than the M1216, which was bad to begin with. But on the other hand, the M1216 does have that strange 4x4 fire mode configuration where you can only fire out 4 shots at a time before having to twist that magazine. The S12 does have slightly higher damage than the M1216, but they're both pretty rubbish to begin with, resulting in multiple hit markers. So with that in mind, one benefit of the M1216 is its standard magazine size of 16 rounds as opposed to just 10 in the S12. But I guess to conclude, rather than argue which one's the worst weapon, you could save yourself 2 unlock tokens and just not bother using any of these 2 weapons. But if you've got a screw loose and you did want to play around with the S12, let's take a look at my recommendations of attachments to get the most out of this weapon. The main drawback to using the S12 is its minuscule range, which will mean lots of hit markers even at the closest ranges. To kind of remedy this slightly, we can use the long barrel, which is going to increase that 30 and 25 damage range to at least allow you to hopefully secure those kills in one less shot. Because you need so many shots to kill per enemy, plus this weapon's only got a 10 round magazine and quite a slow reload time, I'd next recommend the fast mags attachment. You could otherwise go with the extended clip, but I reckon the fast mags is the better alternative. The extended clip is going to give you those extra shells to spray towards the bad guys, but this weapon's not one that you can really tackle multiple enemies. By the time you've sprayed one enemy down, you're likely to have been gunned down yourself, so I recommend going with the fast mags attachment and just focusing on taking out one enemy at a time, then quickly reloading to prepare for the next bad guy. And it might be worth spending an extra point in your pick 10 system to equip the primary gunfighter wildcard and run 3 attachments on this weapon to kind of boost its performance. And the third and final attachment I'd recommend is the laser sight, which is a good attachment for any shotgun. Tightening up that hip fire spread is just going to mean that more pellets are likely to land a hit, resulting in more likelihood of a one-shot kill. So that's about it for my guide to the S12, and that finishes off the entire series of my Black Ops 2 weapon guides. Let me know down in the comments which episodes were your favourite or ones that stood out. I'll definitely be returning with my weapon guides or gun reviews in Call of Duty Ghosts, and maybe even a couple of other games such as Battlefield 4 and whatever the title is that Respawn Entertainment release. So if you missed any of those previous episodes, don't forget to check out that link to the full playlist down in the description. While you're in there, you might as well click those links to Twitter and Facebook to come and say hello. You'll also notice that you can subscribe to my little email newsletter to receive little notifications when I upload a new video. Call of Duty wise, I've still got a few more class setups to post, so stay tuned for those. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.
UAV on standby.